A few months before the interview at SpaceX, Elon Musk witnessed a memorable moment, an event that seemed ordinary but left an indelible impression on him. That day he was having dinner at a high-end restaurant in Los Angeles, a place he frequently visited for business discussions with partners. The restaurant, as usual, was bustling and lively. Waitstaff in black and white uniforms moved briskly, attending to the diners. Among them was an older black woman, petite in stature, working tirelessly to manage the many crowded tables. She had clearly been on her feet for hours, her face showing signs of fatigue, yet she maintained a warm smile and a courteous demeanor. However, not everyone respected her dedication. At a nearby table, a well-dressed patron, clearly dissatisfied with something, suddenly raised a voice, berating the server with harsh words and even making derogatory comments about her race. "I paid to be served better than this. If you can handle the job, you should just go home and quit. This place is meant for clean people, and that includes having clean servers." The comment unmistakably targeting the woman's skin color, blatantly racist. The entire restaurant froze for a moment. Some diners glanced toward the scene, a few visibly uncomfortable, but no one dared to speak up. From a corner table, Elon watched intently, his expression stern as he observed the situation. He had always despised injustice, but before he could act, a bold voice rang out across the room. Amara Johnson, sitting at another table with a friend, couldn't remain silent in the face of what was happening. She stood up, her eyes resolute, and walked straight to the table of the patron, berating the server. Despite the tense atmosphere, her tone was calm but commanding. "Excuse me, but I think you should know that respect is not something you can buy with money. This woman is doing her job, and no one, including you, has the right to demean her dignity." The patron was momentarily stunned by the unexpected intervention. However, instead of backing down, he smirked and sneered. "And who are you to interfere? Don't you know people like her are usually slow and incompetent? I have the right to demand better service." Amara stood her ground against the harsh words. She took a deep breath, keeping her eyes firmly locked on his, and responded with even greater determination. "People like her are those who work hard to serve people like you. Instead of criticizing, you should be grateful. And if you cannot treat someone with kindness who is working to provide you with a meal, then you don't deserve to sit here." The entire restaurant fell into silence. Some diners seemed tempted to applaud her courage but hesitated, not wanting to escalate the situation. The patron, embarrassed by Amara's boldness, muttered a few incoherent words before lowering his head and falling silent. The elderly server looked at Amara, her eyes welling up with tears, her voice trembling. Thank you so much." Amara turned back, placing a gentle hand on the woman's shoulder and smiling warmly. "It's nothing, ma'am. You work hard, and you deserve respect." In the corner of the room, Elon Musk, who had been observing the entire incident from start to finish, couldn't hide his surprise. His eyes glimmered with a mix of admiration and intrigue. To him, Amara's courage to stand up for someone else, paired with her calm and sharp reasoning, was a rare quality. The memory of that moment might have faded into the past until it resurfaced months later during the SpaceX interview. Amara, a young black woman from a small town in Alabama, entered the interview room carrying dreams and ambitions as vast as the stars. Her demeanor was confident but not ostentatious. She wasn't someone who often stepped into luxurious or high-tech spaces like SpaceX headquarters. Yet her steps were steady and purposeful. The building's minimalist, innovative design and advanced technology appeared before her like a dream far removed from the narrow, dusty streets of her hometown. But Amara knew that here, in this room, was the place she had to conquer to make her dreams a reality. She wore a perfectly fitted black suit, simple yet elegant, exuding professionalism in everything she did. Her black shoes, meticulously polished the night before, reflected the care and preparation she had put into this pivotal moment. Her hair was neatly styled, not with elaborate flair, but in a way that conveyed composure and focus. Everything about her appearance, her preparation, her posture was crafted to assert one clear message. "I am not here because of luck. I am here because I deserve to be." In her hand was an old leather briefcase, carefully maintained. It wasn't just an accessory. It was a testament to her hard work and perseverance. Inside the briefcase were documents, sketches, and notes she had meticulously prepared over many late nights. Each page carried not only knowledge but also her aspirations and belief in what she could contribute to SpaceX and beyond that, to the future of humanity. Amara's eyes radiated a strong determination, a steadfastness forged through the challenges and hardships she had faced in life. But for those observant enough, they might notice a hint of anxiety beneath her gaze. It wasn't fear, it was the feeling of someone standing on the brink of a life-changing opportunity. She had faced prejudice, been underestimated, and encountered obstacles that seemed insurmountable, yet she had never backed down. This time was no different. Though seated across from her was Elon Musk, one of the greatest minds of the era and a figure admired by the entire world. Amara held firmly to her belief that she belonged here and that she could succeed. She took a deep breath to steady herself, then stepped purposefully toward the chair opposite him. Her demeanor was understated, yet it exuded an unusual confidence, the confidence of someone who knew she had done everything possible to prepare for this moment. When Amara entered the room, she immediately sensed an atmosphere that was both professional and solemn. The room was large, its minimalist decor featuring metal furniture and a large screen displaying data related to SpaceX projects. On Elon Musk's desk, there was nothing but a laptop and a simple notebook. Yet this simplicity heightened the pressure, as Amara knew this was a place where decisions that could change the world were made. She glanced around and couldn't help but feel small, but she quickly pushed those thoughts aside. She reminded herself that she wasn't just representing herself but also her family, the people from her small hometown, and everyone who had ever been underestimated because of their background or the color of their skin. Each step she took toward the chair opposite Elon carried with it her dreams and a profound sense of responsibility. Sitting before her was Elon Musk, dressed in his familiar black t-shirt and exuding an understated yet undeniable power. His sharp eyes were filled with focus, as though he were searching for something deep within the person in front of him, not through their words, but through their demeanor and attitude. Amara knew Elon was to someone easily impressed by superficial qualities. He was a man of idea, innovation, and groundbreaking thought. He didn't care about what you looked like, where you came from, or what you had achieved in the past. What he wanted to see was what you could contribute to the future he was striving to build every single day. Even so, sitting across from one of the most powerful and intelligent individuals in the world made Amara take a deep breath to steady herself. She knew this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and she had to prove that she deserved it. Despite her nerves, she maintained a soft smile, her gaze steady and her posture upright, as if to send a clear message. I am here to make a difference. Elon Musk, dressed in his usual black t-shirt and familiar leather jacket, looked at Amara with a hint of surprise. This was the same young woman from the restaurant who had left a profound impression on him. Yet Elon showed no sign of recognition or emotion. For him, a polished resume was never enough to impress. He was swayed by appearances or flowery words. What he sought were groundbreaking thinking, sharp analytical skills, and above all, the will to push beyond limits. Hello, Elon began, his voice deep and decisive. I've reviewed your resume. It seems you were very passionate about aerospace. So what brought you here today? Amara smiled softly, not just to mask her nerves but to bolster her confidence. She replied in a clear and slightly enthusiastic tone. Mr. Musk, I've always believed that space exploration is the future of humanity. As a child, I was mesmerized by the stars in the Alabama night sky and wondered if we could ever reach them. SpaceX isn't just a pioneer in this field, it's a place where the dreams I've always cherished are being realized. Elon nodded slightly, his expression neutral, though his sharp eyes continued to assess every gesture and word Amara delivered. He didn't respond directly but instead pivoted to a deeper technical question. Tell me how you would optimize the Raptor engine to improve fuel efficiency in low-gravity environments. Elon asked suddenly, giving Amara no time to prepare. Amara didn't flinch. She took a deep breath and answered with calm composure. Mr. Musk, the Raptor engine is already highly advanced, but I believe further optimization could be achieved by improving the heat-resistant materials in the combustion chamber. For instance, incorporating a new ceramic alloy could reduce weight without compromising heat tolerance, making the engine more efficient in harsh conditions. Elon raised an eyebrow, his curiosity piqued. Ceramic materials could reduce weight, but aren't you concerned that they might compromise temperature control under rapidly changing conditions? Not every improvement is worth it if it risks system integrity. Amara nodded, acknowledging his point, but she wasn't done. She elaborated. That's true, Mr. Musk. However, I've studied a hybrid ceramic alloy recently developed that integrates ceramic and metal fibers. It retains high heat tolerance while providing enough mechanical strength to withstand abrupt thermal fluctuations. If applied correctly, I believe we could significantly reduce overall weight without sacrificing performance. Elon tilted his head slightly, faint smile crossing his face. He didn't say anything but gave a small nod before moving on to another, even more challenging question. All right. What are your thoughts on addressing fine dust accumulation on spacecraft surfaces during landings on Mars? It's an issue my team is still grappling with. Amara's lips curled into a small smile, showing she had anticipated this question. She answered confidently. Mars dust has highly abrasive properties, and current systems like anti-adhesive coatings are only temporary solutions. I propose developing an automated cleaning system using static electricity. This system could generate a light electromagnetic field to repel dust from the surface, similar to what we use in solar panel systems on Earth. Additionally, I believe incorporating nanomaterials with superhydrophobic surfaces could further minimize dust adhesion in such environments. Elon leaned back slightly, clearly intrigued as the conversation delved deeper into technical innovations. Amara's calm and well-reasoned responses revealed not just her technical expertise but her ability to think critically under pressure, qualities Elon valued immensely. Elon narrowed his eye, this time refraining from nodding as he posed a challenge. Static electricity on Mars sounds interesting. But don't you think using it on a planet with a thin atmosphere like Mars might cause issues with electrostatic interference in other systems? How would you address that? Amara paused for a few seconds, her eyes reflecting intense focus. She understood that this wasn't an easy challenge, but she also knew it was an opportunity to demonstrate her critical thinking skills. Yes, Mr. Musk, electrostatic interference is certainly a factor that needs consideration. However, I believe we can mitigate this by employing anti-interference devices shielded with specialized insulating materials. More importantly, this system would only activate for short periods and at low energy levels, just enough to clear the dust without impacting other systems. Of course, this would require further testing, but I believe it's a feasible solution. Elon leaned back in his chair and smiled. He recognized that Amara not only understood the complexities of the issue, but also knew how to defend her perspective with clarity and creativity. After nearly 30 minutes of discussion, the room grew quieter but no less tense. Elon Musk, with his signature relaxed posture yet piercing gaze, leaned slightly forward. His eyes seemed to search through layers of thoughts and emotions in the person before him. This was not just an ordinary interview. It was a moment to determine whether the candidate could meet SpaceX's rigorous standards. Amara, Elon said, his tone more serious, deliberate and weighty. Space is not an easy place to work. We have no room for major mistakes. And the pressure here can crush even the best of people. Do you think you have what it takes to work here? Elon's question, though not overtly negative, thickened the air in the room. It wasn't just a challenge, it was a test of resilience. Amara understood this wasn't merely about technical skills or experience. It was Elon's way of probing whether she had the grit, determination, and mental fortitude to withstand the immense pressures that came with the job. Amara sat still for a few seconds, taking a deep breath. She could feel the weight of the tension pressing down on her, but in that moment she realized this was her chance to prove herself. She didn't just need to say the right word, she needed to make Elon trust in her resilience. She lifted her head, her gaze steady, and offered a slight smile. Mr. Musk, I don't just think I'm incapable, no I am. Not because I never make mistakes, but because every time I fail, I learn something and come back stronger. Amara's voice rang out in the quiet room, clear and filled with emotion. She continued, I've faced prejudice and challenges that many believed I couldn't overcome. But I've conquered them all, not through luck, but through relentless effort and faith in my own abilities. Each time I was underestimated, each time I had to prove my worth, I strengthened my perseverance and determination. She looked Elon directly in the eye without flinching, without fear. I know SpaceX is a place of immense pressure. I know there's no room for weakness here. But if SpaceX needs someone who can face pressure, confront unimaginable challenges, and continuously push forward, then I am that person. Elon remained, leaning back in his chair with his hands resting lightly on the table. His sharp eyes studied every movement and expression of Amara. The silence didn't unsettle her. Instead, it amplified the weight of every word she had just spoken. Finally, Elon's lips curved into a faint smile, a rare sight during his intense interviews. He nodded slightly, as though he had found something intriguing in this young woman. Amara, he said, his tone deeper but still sharp, your answer is interesting. But remember, this is only the beginning. The pressure at SpaceX doesn't just come from the work, it also comes from the expectations. Can you handle those expectations? Without hesitation, Amara nodded, her confident smile unwavering. Mr. Musk, I don't just accept expectations, you want to exceed them. I know this isn't an easy place, but I'm not here looking for ease. I'm here to test my limits and give everything I have to the goals SpaceX is pursuing. Elon remained silent for a few seconds, seemingly weighing each of her words. Then he let out a soft laugh, a rare reaction in his high-pressure interviews. He shook his head, not in disappointment, but in genuine amusement. I like your spirit, Amara. Failure isn't what's scary. What's truly scary is not having the courage to face it. I think you understand that better than many people I've interviewed. He stood up and extended his hand. Space does need perfect people. We need those who dare to think big, dare to fail, and dare to rise again after every failure. I believe you have great potential to do that. Amara shook Elon's hand, feeling the firmness and strength in his grip. In that moment, she realized she had overcome a challenge far greater than any technical test. Elon had not only evaluated her knowledge, but also her resilience and spirit. As she left the room, Amara felt not just relief, but also pride. She knew she had proven that resilience, determination, and the ability to learn from failure were the keys to unlocking the greatest opportunities. And for her, this was only the first step in her journey to reach the stars.